rat. It's a term of derision because generally humans don't like rats. David Attenborough has said they are his least favourite animal. Historically, they carried the fleas that spread bubonic plague. That disease devastated human populations and economies. Rats can also be devastating in the garden. I've lost entire crops of corn to them. They love tomatoes, pineapple, pawpaw. In fact, with these pineapples, they'll gnaw them completely out, hollowing them, but only from the side where you can't see them from the footpath. What's more, they're infuriatingly cheeky. They're just as active during the day as they are during the night, and they show very little fear of humans. And they're clever enough to get away with it. What to do? Poisons and traps will work if used properly and responsibly, but I want to show you strategies for making your garden a spot rats don't want to be in the first place. First, I'm going to lift the lid on compost. Inside here are lots of things that a rat will want to eat. Plus, there's bedding material, and as the compost breaks down, it generates heat. How's about that? You've got bed and breakfast with central heating. They can live in here in the lap of luxury, but how do we keep them out? A tight-fitting lid is important. You can see here where a rat's tried to gnaw its way in. And when you add the compost, make sure to pack it down around the sides, because if they can get in to make a nest, they will. Now, if you do find a rat inside here, you can hose them out because they really don't like wet bedding. Always put kitchen scraps in a sealable bin like this one to keep the rats out. And don't add meat, dairy and carbs like bread and rice because rats home in on them. Now, in this compost heap, there are no kitchen scraps. It's just garden waste. So there's not much nourishing food to attract rats. However, they still want to nest in here occasionally. A couple of things that prevent that. The base is solid metal, so rats can't dig in and make a nest. The other thing you can do is to turn the compost heap, and that actually helps to make good compost, but it's hard work. So what I do is I chop up the waste and I put layers of soft green material with layers of hard, dry, woody material, and they mesh really well together and they compost fine like that. Now, when I've added a large amount, I tramp it down to make sure there are no air pockets in which rats can nest. And that way, I'm pretty much rat-free. Rats like peace and quiet. If your bin is on a well-used path, the foot traffic will put them off. And give them a bit of stick too. An occasional whacking will really upset them. They'll desert your compost bin like it's a sinking ship. When it comes to storing tubers and bulbs and rhizomes, they like somewhere cool, dark and well ventilated. And on this table underneath my house is an ideal location. I put them in trays, so that allows the air to move around them. And they can store quite well for 6 months or so until they're needed. But to keep them rat-proof is really quite simple. I'm just using 2 layers of net curtains, and I just make sure I properly wrap them around them so they're completely enclosed. It's too much hard work for the rats and they leave them alone. Now to biological controls. I really don't recommend keeping a free-ranging cat. They kill so many native birds and reptiles. But if you live in the subtropics, and you're lucky, maybe a carpet python will come to visit. Now, these aren't venomous, they're constrictors. And if they stay, the rats will go. But if you're unlucky and you don't have one of these scaly allies, then follow the simple tips that I've given you, and hopefully your rat problem will vanish. Hello. That tickled.